All right. Computer is going into green. All right. Yellow, red. All right, now it's green. Cool. Internet health is green. That is always good. That is excellent. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Successfully connected. We are a go. We are green. You know, I love live because it's live. It's happening right now. It's like now. No, at this very moment now. Didn't I do that before? Anyways, I digress. Anyways, I want to welcome everyone here. Welcome to Mystic Optimistic M on YouTube. I know it's been what, at least 2 weeks. Pretty close. Pretty close. And I've actually been wanting to do this particular cast. Well, I wanted to do a cast, but I came up with this one just last week, so I'm here. And I am actually working on a couple other things, but for now, let's get started. Because I know everyone is excited. You missed me. I missed you guys. And I'm trying to stay hydrated as much as possible, so okay. Here we are. So, today's topic, obviously, I'm going to talk about 1 year later. And that's in regards to 1 year after graduating college. Yes, if you haven't paid attention, if you're still taking classes, you probably noticed that there's a lot of people graduating around this time. In fact, for the past few weeks here in Hawaii, there have been numerous people graduating from college, from high school. Now, one thing you should know about Hawaii is high school is huge because, fortunately and unfortunately at the same time, high school is a lot of people's last educational stop before they go to work. So it's pretty big here. Like it's like you refer to somebody as like what high school did you go to kind of thing. That's how big it is. People ask me, I'm like, I didn't go to high school here, and if I did mention the name, you will not know because it's out of state. But anyway, so that's one of the things. It's one of the part of cultures here, is high school's huge, and then college is like the next step. But college, I'd say I'm gonna get to that shortly here. So I want to go over some updates right now, as far as life and what's life throwing at me. All right, now, so I, I guess I'll go in order. So recently, I've been having some. Well, my AC died in my car, so that kind of sucks. It sucks because it's Hawaii and it's relatively humid here most of the time. Fortunately, though, it hasn't been humid the last week or so, and my AC died probably about around the time, probably a week and a half. So I've been going just like straight no AC, like with a fan. Just I've even used a car with the AC worked a little bit, and it was better than nothing because it still disperses like the humidity. That's mostly why I use it, because even when it's cool, you can still kind of feel like the stickiness, like almost like a heaviness. It's not as bad right now, but wait till summer, it's gonna be freaking rough, and that's one reason why I have to fix this like soon. And plus, I can't really drive like I can't. Well, I can't. One of the what's going on my computer? What's going on? Okay, there we go. I know I did something, and screen went black for a second. Okay, so when you drive Lyft, you cannot. One of the prerequisites to being a driver for Uber and Lyft is AC has to work. No questions asked. Like, it has to. That's one of the things that has to work. And I can go into like the whole Lyft thing later, but I'm just saying that's one of the main things. AC has to work. And plus, if I was riding somebody's car, I more would like to be AC'd than have the wind blowing in my face, while I'm going 60 miles per hour down the highway. And plus, it's just loud as hell. It's just so like loud driving and with the windows open. It's okay if it's nighttime and there's not too much traffic, but if there's a lot of traffic, and normally there is in the morning, then it gets pretty loud, especially motorcycles driving by. It scared the shit out of me. It's anyways, that's one thing I have to do, and my internet just freaking dropped. Not again. Who else is on? Welcome to my channel. Okay, it's not bad yet, but it was bad. The video was so bad it was like stuttering, and it was like I swear it was like a 5-minute delay for me. Hey, Mr. Cool Man, how's it going? How you been, man? So I'm gonna stray off just a little bit because I want to talk to Mr. Cool, see how he's doing. He's actually one of my friends I met on an app called Roar, which used to be called Insta Radio, and he's on live with me, and I appreciate it. But hey, man, I just talked to. Well, he calls himself Internal Monarch right now. He used to be on the Roar, and he's doing Spreaker, he's doing SoundCloud, and he's got his own site at internalmonarch.com. So that's a shout out for him, and a shout out for Mr. Cool because he's on. Mr. Cool used to be one of the broadcasters. We actually did a few, I think at least 1 or 2 crossover episodes where we just talked about anime, etc., etc., etc. So good, man. I'm glad to hear that. You're still taking classes, right? I know we had talked a little bit. It's been a minute though. At least it seems that way. Yeah, man. He's doing well. So he's still doing the cast thing, and I keep telling him. Actually, he wants to do a crossover too one of these days. So you might want to get in contact with him just in case I'm the only thing I know he's on Twitter. I'm not sure what else he uses as far as like chat. So yeah, definitely. He's doing the thing, man. He's still doing it. Yeah, 2 episodes. Okay, so I know I did one. I know we did. I think both of them might have been with. I know it goes by like 2 different names, so I always forget. But damn, I have my brain fart right now. I hate that. I just hate when that happens. I think maybe I should like lower my bit rate. I don't think I can do it while I'm streaming though. Unfortunately, I don't know. I tried it. Either one or 2 things will happen. My stream will break, and it'll just start a new one, or I don't know. I wonder if I can do that. CPU is good. My internet is just not. Encoding is overloaded. Is that what it is? Consider turning video settings. Oh, let me see something here. Or using a faster encoding preset. So I'm still relatively new to OBS, which is what I'm using to cast live on YouTube. And there's actually different encoding softwares you can use, because on YouTube you can't directly go live on there unless you're using a phone. Of course, they have their own in the phone, but actually, yeah, but the phone version is only available for like certain users. Like you have to have like, I don't know, 1,000 subscribers or something crazy like that. It's something I aspire for. Okay, it is. So I'm gonna change my bit rate if that's possible. I can't do it. Wait a minute. Okay, I can do it. Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna change it to 1,500 bits per second. I think that's, so I can do that like mid bits, mid video, kilobits per second. That should make it a little bit better. Okay, it's back to yellow, so that's good. Our fans want us at the Comic-Con phone panel. Yeah, man. I mean, we're still I mean, we haven't talked about this in a minute, and that's definitely that's something to consider, because down the line at least. Now, speaking of which, dude, I'm glad you brought this up, because one of I call her my acquaintance because I don't really know her. I've only seen her for like 2 other times. Sorry, I'm going out the topic for a bit. I'll be back. Don't worry. I'm keep this short. But so one of my friends, well, it's my acquaintance, but it's my friend's friend. So my friend's friend, she's like so in anime and she's cute, which is like a double whammy. Anyways, enough about that. But yeah, so she's in anime. I went to their place yesterday for dinner, and which is kind of out of the ordinary for me, because I don't know, I normally stay in the house. Like Sundays, I'm just chilling, I'm relaxing, I don't want to do anything else, and works tomorrow morning. I do something like totally out of the ordinary. I go to dinner, we eat chili, some rice, have some beers, play this card game, which is pretty fun, by the way. We have a pretty awesome time, so that was great. But I bring this up because she's in anime. Basically, I think all the roommates are in anime of some sort, and they have this amazing setup at their place. And I'm like, damn, I'm like anime envy. Like I have the collection, I just don't have like the setup. Like I don't like back before I joined the Navy. Like my bedroom was like, it was like almost like a shrine to like anime. Had like figurines and stuff like that, and all that stuff is put up. I don't even have it here. So all I have is like my DVD disc, which is fine. I have like a crap load of anime. I'll never run out. I mean, I can watch literally a series, like episode, probably a couple episodes from like a couple series every day for like, I don't know, for a while. Let's put it that way. Anyway, I don't want to talk about I'm not tooting my own horn or anything like that, but I'm just saying, I'm tooting their horn. Like that setup is sweet. They got, TV and everything. They got the DVDs on the side, and they got the figurines like all over the place. And like something that I used to have, man. I even used to have wall scrolls, and those are not cheap, by the way. They're not cheap. I don't even know about now, but like they're usually about 30, 25, $30 a pop for a good one. I'm not talking about cheap. Unless you want a poster. Posters are actually cheaper, which I started with posters, and I found out because they are cheap, they're also tackier. Just, it really depends on what you get, but I know I went off on a tangent. This is live. I can do whatever I want. In the future I might break these live videos down to actually something. I might edit them, but that seems like a lot of work. So I'm gonna put that on hold for a little bit. It was fun, dude. It was like she was cool, man. And she's cool. Yeah, her roommates was there also. So one of her roommates was there, and then yeah, I can't even think of the name of the card game, but it's kind of like Cards Against Humanity, but it's like with I guess they call them blue, and the other one's like green. They like the one wears a blue shirt, one wears a green shirt, and like they're like the big heads, kind of like stick figures, and it was fun. It was really fun. We had a good time. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to my story here because it's I want to get it out of the way because and strike while the iron is hot because as you know, as it gets later at night, and I'm sure it's getting late for you guys if you're on the mainland of the United States. But if you're in Australia, of course, you're probably well, you are actually 18, no, actually 20 hours ahead, which means you could say -4 plus 20, something like that, from Hawaii. So it's like, yeah, it's 6:12 in Australia right now. They're 4 hours difference. If you think about it like that, in terms of instead of going around the whole planet, but going just back. Oh, my live stream is green again. Sweet. So we're 16 minutes in here, and so I was talking about my AC. So getting back to that, at hey, you're more than free to comment or anything like that, and I will definitely respond. So don't worry about that. Um, I'm not gonna ignore you. I'm just saying I'm not gonna ignore anybody that wants to comment, unless it's just stupid. But yeah, then I may have something to say for that. But so I have to go and get an oil change, and I do that last week, right? I get an oil change. I go in there, and it's freaking early. In fact, me and my friend, I'm gonna come back to my friend in a bit, but it was pretty much like our going away road trip around the island, and it didn't happen. So, make a long story short, I go in, I get the oil change, which takes like seeming like forever. It probably took about 45 minutes, and then I had them check, my engine check light and some other stuff. But this dude comes back to me and says, "Hey, well, actually, this is after the oil got changed, and all I wanted was the oil change. I didn't want nothing else. Last time it cost me like $300 some for like some nonsense. Hey, it was like after taxes, so whatever. And I get to write it off because I'm a Lyft driver. But that's besides the point. The point is, he comes to me, he tells me, "Hey, you gotta get this. Hey, yeah, this such and such." So I do my own due diligence, of course, beforehand. I tell him, I watch some YouTube videos. I go online and check, just troubleshoot my problem. Why is the AC not working? Do the fans work? Check. Yes. Is the computer getting the signal that you've turned the AC on? Check, because your RPMs do a little thing and go back down. Double check. What else? Is there a clicking noise? Because usually there's a click noise. The relay or whatever. I think it's the relay, if I'm not mistaken, or it's the clutch for the compressor itself. I got nothing. So I'm down. My diagnosis comes down to the fuse, the relay, and then ultimately the clutch, which I figured out. Well, the guy said it's broken. It's the clutch is not kicking in. It's not engaging. Whatever. So it's jacked. He brings me this sheet of paper. He tells me the estimate to basically repair and replace. There is no repair, by the way. You can't repair one of these things on the car. I have to actually take it off. Gives me the sheet. And I'm like, dude. I'm thinking to myself, like, this is ridiculous. This is like, it's almost $1,000. I'm like, $1,000 is like friggin'. I'm thinking to myself, $1,000. I mean, easily it's a head gasket replacement, right? That could be $2,000 easily. Transmission, maybe. Depends on the problem. If if your transmission is jacked, it's probably gonna be one plus $2,000. Very easy, very simple, very easy. Yeah, man, yeah, it is my show. I do what I want. I do what I want, bro. Respect my authority. Oh man. And Living Color, dude, I haven't seen that show in like forever. And that's like one of Jim Carrey's first things he's ever done in his career. That's classic, man. Actually, that's a lot of people started off that show. Wayans brothers. I mean, list goes on. But anyway, that this dude tells me it's like roughly about 900 and some change. It actually came out more, and it gets better. By the way, it gets better. It comes out more than replacing my engine coil or whatever. Okay, I'm gonna get to that. But the AC, like, just for the part, just to get a new part, it's like $500. And I'm like giving this blank stare, like, I don't want to spend that. I'm definitely thinking that I don't want to spend that kind of money because I know that this is ridiculous. Like, this is nonsense. I know I'm getting played, and I'm not about to get played. I mean, the oil change is enough. I mean, I paid like $77, almost $80 for an oil change. By the way, I don't know how much oil changes are like on the mainland. I'm pretty sure they're not almost $80. And just a simple, just replace it. Like, I'm not talking about cleaning out, put some stuff in there. I'm talking about like just replace the oil. It's not dirty. I mean, it's not filthy because I know they charge extra for that. If it's black, they had clean engine out, and I'm not even talking about that, dude. Like, for reals. Like, I'm looking at like the sheet. Like, yeah, I don't want to spend that kind of money, and I know better. If I was rich, hey, maybe, but I might hire somebody to teach me how to do it. Maybe. I'm just saying. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Utter nonsense. Like, I almost feel like blowing a gasket. Like, are you freaking kidding me? I was gonna blow my own gasket. Like, just like freaking. Like, so I'm like, dude, yeah, thanks. Just email me that later, kind of thing. And I go on and do my own research. I'm like, the compressor doesn't come up to like even $300. This dude quoted me almost 500. Apparently, and I don't know how many shops actually do this, but they have their own suppliers and they just buy from their own suppliers. I'm like, okay, so is this thing like plated with gold? Like, is it like gold chrome like compressor? Like, I mean, no one's ever gonna see it. I'm just gonna open the hood up and it's gonna be like right there, like all chromed out. Like, maybe even better. Maybe like a smooth, like not even a matte, like a smooth chrome. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like 40, $50. So yeah, I'm not going back to this place, by the way. And I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna freaking like blast on social media. Like, I don't like to do that. I don't like to be negative about any place I go, except if it's just so obvious that it's like, dude, why aren't you doing something about this? But the thing is, I've seen good reviews from this place, and I'm like, what the H, man? Like, is it just me? Maybe I'm just like I'm totally. Maybe it's like a secret price list somewhere that I don't know about. Like, of course they don't tell you. It's like we'll give you a quote. We'll give you an estimate. So we're gonna go back in the back room and then we're gonna make up some stuff and we're gonna be like, hey man, yeah. So what you got here is you got a bunch of purple unicorns poking at your engine, and we gotta get that changed out ASAP. And if you don't, then you're gonna have problems because yeah, you're definitely gonna have issues with the engine because that we gotta get that infestation of purple unicorns under control now. And it's gonna be about $1,000. Utter nonsense. You should be ashamed of yourselves. If anyone that does that, I'm not going back to this place. Like, and it's a nice place. Like, I've been to a lot of repair shops. I mean, that's probably the reason why it's nice, is because they freaking gouge everybody. Except maybe your friends. I'm really considering going on social media and blasting them. So, I mean, it's not a big deal right now. I don't want to do it on here. This video is more about something else, and it's just a minor update, which is kind of major right now. Besides the fact that my engine is misfiring, and I contribute that 1 year ago when I got my oil changed the first time. I probably should learn my lesson, not took my car back to the same motherfucker. Excuse my French. But that's me. But lessons learned, don't go back to the same person that screwed you over the first time. At least I didn't think of it. Long story short, I actually was going to get it checked out. Being that I moved locations, one of the main contributing factors of me not having to go back to that place. Well, the other thing was, the guy was like, so he did this blue drip cleansing. I don't know exactly what that is, but it's not like a great idea. And he was like, okay, car's going to get, better gas mileage, etc., etc., etc. And when he brought it back, he was like, hey, so it's got a little bit left in there. And I was like, okay. So the engine was kind of doing like, it was kind of pumping out some blue smoke, whatever. I don't know why that was. I'm not exactly sure exactly. And maybe I should had him explain it to me. So that's me. That's my bad. I'm not car savvy to that point. So I had to excuse me for that. Okay. So I thought it was that. I honestly thought whatever that stuff was, it was affecting maybe the spark plug, maybe the engine. I don't know. It was like, and I figured out, it's a misfire. I wonder why. And it's been misfiring for a year. I just haven't had the time to check it out. The priority to check it out. Now it's a major priority because that can become something bigger. And that it's engine related. So that's what's going on right now with my car. But I'm thinking, and on a good note, that it's just a freaking defective spark plug. Because the guy said, well, we put this in a year ago, and it should be good for 50,000 miles. I'm not sure if that's good, because I'm not sure if that's accurate. I know there's good spark plugs, I know there's not so good spark plugs. And they vary, depending on what kind you put in there. So they put in some good ones, apparently. And yeah, I've seen the price tag for those too, by the way. I think they're gold chrome as well. Gold chromed. Get the gold chrome spark plugs. For reals. Anyways, so where do we go from here? Well, I've done spark plug repair before, so it's not a big deal to me. I've just never done it on this car. I've done it on Nissan, my Maxima actually. It was a 1991 Nissan Maxima. And it was fairly easy. I mean, all I had to do is do a wrench. I'm looking at the book. It tells you everything you need to do, even to check it, and that's what I plan to do. And I'm start there, and if there's a bigger problem, then we'll go from there. That's all I can do. Now the AC, that's a little more complex. That's more like if the compressor itself or the clutch for the compressor is jacked, I'm gonna have to find a new one without question. But first, I'm gonna get a second opinion and see where I can go from there. See what price tag I can get, if I can get a better deal, and I absolutely know that I can. I'm gonna go to the AC specialist and get that looked at. So that's my action plan right now for that. There's something else, but I gotta get those two things looked at first before anything else. It's kind of important. It's really important, actually. So, moving on. Work. I'm gonna keep this very short and sweet. I'm not gonna talk too much about work, but work has been rough. And when I say rough, it's been like 11-hour days. It's right now I'm going 6 days. I'm gonna work 11-hour days. Well, 5 11-hour days, and then the sixth one's gonna be like 6 hours actually. So it's not too bad. So this week, and this week is the exception because one of my coworkers is on a vacation, which I'm gonna go on vacation very soon. I'm gonna get to that shortly. So it's been rough, and I've gotten to the point where I know what I must do, and I'm pretty sure I've stated on here before numerous times that it's about time to make that change, to make the jump. But of course, I gotta have a plan, right? I mean, you don't want to freaking leave without an exit strategy, right? You just don't want to go. Anyways, I digress. But in the midst of this, what I've decided to do is come up with a new YouTube series. It'll be on the channel, of course, but a new series dedicated to solving problems, even mundane problems, because I'm a business major, for God's sake, and I actually got a degree for it, unlike some people. So I'm going to use that to my advantage because there's a lot of stuff in here full of ideas. But I got to listen to people in all their infinite wisdom say this and that, and I got to abide by it because I'm just an employee. And that burns my biscuits. I don't know about you, but that freaking burns my biscuits. It shouldn't be the other way around. Shouldn't I be giving the orders? I don't know. Experience, right? It's a good place for experience. I won't even say where I work at. You're going to have to figure it out yourself. In due time, my friend, in due time. But for now, let's continue on with this video because I don't want to keep you guys all night. And I know I don't want to be on all night because I have to get some sleep eventually. So, next on my list here is Australian vacation. I already gave a countdown video. And mentioned about a new series I was also starting. And I haven't started that yet. So that's one of the things I'm going to do. I'm going to get around to. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I really haven't forgotten. I know I've mentioned this probably a few times already. I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on it. I'm going to actually type it out right now down here so you guys can see. Okay. Let me see here. Should update live, right? Hopefully. Call it Living in Australia. Bam. Should be it. So I am less than 2 months away from going back. That's right. I've come back from the future. No, I'm just gonna. Great. My live persona is crazy, so you're gonna have to deal with it. This is like my vlog. Do whatever I want in reason. I'm not gonna like show my penis or anything crazy like that, but that's not me. And some people probably would do that, and I'm sure you would get banned for doing that. Like you get 3 strikes, no, you get banned. Like they don't play on this thing. They even have the like 18 plus version of YouTube, but I'm it has to be like educational, and I don't think pulling one's penis out is educational enough to be like within the rules. I'm not sure. I don't think that's. I've never seen it happen ever on YouTube, and I don't think I would want to. But anyways, I digress. So less than 2 months away, and flights are booked. Got my visa, passport's good. The only thing I'm actually waiting on right now is one second. The only thing I'm working on right now is getting my accommodation for Gold Coast, and then Melbourne, because I plan on visiting Melbourne for a few days while I'm there, and that's gonna be sick. Because I've never been to Melbourne. I've heard all about it, so I'm gonna do that. And right now I'm considering a hostel for Melbourne, so I can meet other people. Right. I originally was gonna do the hotel thing, and I was like, okay, well, it'd be nice to stay in my own place, and I still might, but I think the hostel thing might be a better, or even like an upper class, like an upper level hostel. I think that's like a 3-star hotel, something like that. Because like a 2-star is like a hostel, or 2 or below is a hostel, or something like that, and then a 3-star hotel was like a better hostel, something like that, right? Talking about all this stuff, man. Hmm. One second. Mm, I'm just doing something real quick here. Okay. Obvious stuff, but I gotta take some notes. So, dude, I was talking to one of my friends a while back, and asked me how cool would it be if we fusion together. It's like, who we talking about? Do I know this friend? I'll give. I'll let you get back to me on that. But hey, man, I'm down. I'm game. Like, you know me. I do this stuff. I'm already here, man. I'm just say it. Tell me when, and I'll tell you if I can do it or not. And if I can't do it, then we'll find another day. That's all I'm saying. All right. Um. So that's on the horizon. My Australian vacation is on the horizon, and I cannot wait. I can't wait. Cause it's been a long time coming, and it is well deserved. What do I plan on doing in Australia is the question. Well, I'm gonna make a video just for that. Just for that. I could probably make a video when I'm there, but yeah, I will definitely make a video when I'm there. That's don't even worry about that. So I've been wanting to get around to this because this is pretty much what the video is about. I'm already 40 minutes in, so it's probably gonna be about an hour and like a 20-minute video. It's live, so it can be that long. It could be like 5 hours, which is not going to be. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta go to sleep too. I know everybody's gotta go to sleep, so I'm not gonna be too long on this thing. But this is what the video is about, and I wanted to get around to. It's been 1 year after I graduated from college. Hooray, right? And it is awesome. One of the best events in your life is graduating. Whether it be high school, whether it be kindergarten. I graduated kindergarten so long ago. I barely remember that. I just remember I just remember my my purple, like, well, it was black, but it turned purple over time. I don't know why. It wasn't in the sun or anything like that, but for some reason it turned purple. Maybe it was cheap. I don't know. I still have my black thing, my black gown and hat from graduation. It's still black. And yes, I did wear it again for a different occasion afterwards, so it wasn't just useless. But if you are interested in using a gown and hat, can't have my tassel, but I can let you borrow my gown and hat because I did pay a little bit for it. Wouldn't want you to pay for something you already have, right? But anyways, so just a brief look in my college life, and I'm pretty sure I've stated before that I spent pretty much 3.5 years going to university. I started in spring 2013. I had been actually thinking about going to college for a while. I needed a stronger conviction, a stronger reason other than just money. And I was like, well, because when I say money, I did 4 years in the Navy, and if you do 4 years, or at least your minimum time of active duty service, you'll get a GI Bill, and a GI is a place for college. And that'll last for at least 10 years after you get out of the military. So I used it, and eventually I got around to it, so I actually waited. It was about almost 3 years before I went to college after the Navy. You don't inherit fusion. Wait. Fusion together like Dragon Ball Z, where two characters fusion to make a new character. Okay, I get that concept. I get the fusion concept. So what do you mean by it? Like a fusion, like YouTube Hangouts or something like that? What are we talking about here? I might have to clarify that. Elaborate a little bit, please. But yeah, so it took me a while, and I was like, I talked to one guy about it. He's like, "Yeah, you gotta take care of yourself." I just kept remembering that. It's like, okay, there's something to this. Take care of yourself. You know, use the opportunity that's there. Otherwise, you're gonna lose it. Like I said, there's a 10-year limit. After 10 years, you can't use it. It's gone. Unless they change that. So I started in spring 2013. Originally, I wanted to start sooner. I wanted to start fall 2012, and I was going to go to another university, but their registration time was actually, it closed out. And it actually worked out better because it was Catholic. And nothing against Catholic or Catholic schools, but I'm not Catholic. I'm pretty sure they probably get wasted the same as anybody else. I don't know, but I'm just saying that that's something. I went to a private Christian school and it was alright, but that's something I wanted to avoid this time around. I actually just wanted to go to a regular private school, regular private college. And I actually had my eyes set on a few. So originally I started with like places like Heald, and of course everybody knows what happened to Heald. It was supposed to be a really good school and had really good programs, but there was some corruption, and eventually I had to shut it down. Just had to call it quits. And there's also a place called Remington College, as well as Artistry, both of which are good in their own respect. And I was leaning towards Remington. You know, their college package was like, dang, this is good, man. and I could go anywhere, like, because the GI Bill will pay it. And it's like, why not? Why not? So, but on that thought, I figured, why not go to a regular private university? Like, actually sit down in classes, and and that's the thing. I was like, well, I could do the whole night school thing. I go, Phoenix University kind of thing. And I was like, why not do better? And not to say, nothing against those schools. Nothing against the other schools. I'm just saying that I wanted to do something like, okay, well, let's do it right. I want to do it right. I have the time. I can do it right. And not to say the other way is wrong. It just wasn't right for me. I could have picked that. I could have gone to Remington. I could have gone to any one of those, and I would have been the same, better off. But I don't know. I think, well, for me, and I believe strongly that it was a better choice for me because, and I'm gonna get to this at the end because, like, literally when I first started, I made friends on the very first day. Like, not even the first day of school, but the first day, like, orientation. And I almost missed out. I almost missed out on orientation, like, because they don't send orientation requests out if you're an adult. Like, an adult is like anybody that's like pretty much over 25, something like that. If it's not your first rodeo, basically. It's like, well, you've been around, so we don't need to send you this stuff. And I was looking in the newsletter or whatever, I was like, there's orientation, and I didn't know about it. But now I do. And so I went, and I made friends the very same day. In fact, we hung out that night. And it was fun. It was awesome. The whole event, free breakfast, lunch, dinner even. We went to this place called Gordon Biersch. And I don't want to make this story too long, but the whole, like, the first, not even the first day of school. And that's why I say, hey, man, I'm glad I made this choice. I'm glad I made this decision because it really affected and changed everything later on. Like, hands down, if you don't strike while the iron is hot, it's like you've missed out. And I don't know about you, but it gets harder to make friends as you move on. As you get into harder classes. I mean, you may make friends. I'm not saying you won't, but you'll do various projects with various people depending on what you're doing. But I'm just saying, like, it gets harder. And you'll most likely be close. You may not even be closer friends, but like at least acquaintances, like people you do presentations with, whatever. And I've met numerous people and done presentations with numerous people, made acquaintances with numerous people. But I've only got a few friends that actually stuck by, and there's a few I still talk to this day. And not even the first. It was like like the O day, the O week, or whatever you want to call it. In Australia, they call it O weeks, orientation. It was awesome. And the many days, the many weeks, months passed by, and I finally graduated. It was rough, especially near the end. The last 2 semesters was freaking crazy. And I don't tell most people this, but I was married. And being a vlog, this is a bit personal, but it's not to the point where I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to air all my dirty laundry or whatever you want to call it, but I was married. And then I got unmarried. So that happened while I was going to college. It was a lot. I mean, college itself, life, and then I worked my current job now and then working security. I did all that. I remember the early days of freaking doing classes, and then I have to work and then take the bus from class and go straight to work. I remember those days. Those were rough days, man. And not to mention, I moved a few times. in those few years. A few times. I've been here, the place I'm staying at, the longest time since I've been on an island. Literally. Because it's like, people move out, you move out because you want to find a better place. This is like one of the best places I've been on the island. But anyways. So graduation came. And it was all well worth it. I have to link you to my video. Actually, one second here. We're about 50 minutes in, so I'm gonna put this at the 50-minute mark about my graduation video. So it's easy to find. So when you watch, if anybody watches this in the future, which you will, you'll be, or you can just go to my list, my playlist, video list, and it'll come up. My after graduation video. There we go. 50 minutes in, about 50 minutes in, right? I'm gonna put in brackets, parentheses. This is what you're supposed to call brackets, or actually the square things. So we were about the Dragon Ball and the Flash, and how both shows have two more characters fused together. She then asked, how cool would that be if we joined together like Dragon Ball Z or the Flash? It'll be pretty crazy. It'll be pretty cool. Like, I don't know how fast Goku is, but it would be like, I'm not gonna make the name up, but it would be pretty crazy. I would say it'd be pretty crazy. Not in a bad way, but a pretty sick way. But you got all like the Kaz and the Vibe, the Flash. I mean, you can put some Arrow in there, I guess. I mean, they're kind of normal, so it's not the same. But yeah, you can get away with a pretty interesting show. But yeah, graduation, and I graduated, was sitting in the seats and sitting by some of my acquaintances I had met during my time there. And it was just like, this is our event. We made it. And on that note, I gotta say, man, that I gotta say this to anybody that's watching. Congratulations, because you did it. And if you're still working towards that goal, keep going. It's hard. It is hard. At least it's hard near the end, especially nearest the end. Like the last 2 semesters were the hardest for me. And there are times where I felt like giving up. Like it was like almost too much for me. It was, I'm working at the same time. Like, damn. Like it's some heavy shit, man. Like sometimes, like, and you gotta do it. If you don't do it, then you suffer. That's it. The grades will suffer, and you definitely don't want that. I mean, I came this close to failing a class when I was in Australia, and it wasn't because I was having too much fun. Believe me, I had my fair share of fun, but okay, it was probably one of the reasons I was having a little bit too much fun, and I ended up not studying as much as I should have, and got plastered one night before. And I was still messed up on Sunday, and the test was on Monday. Oof. Oof, man, bro. I mean, finance is not exactly the easiest subject in the world. It is a subject I can wrap my head around. It's just, yeah, oof. But yeah, I did it though, and if you did it, if you're still doing it, keep going. Don't worry about it. I mean, yeah, you gotta put in the work. It's not easy all the time. Some of us, I mean, it might be easy for you. Don't worry. It's a breeze, right? Knock it out. Get it done. It's nothing. I'm walking here. You got it. Don't even worry about it. But yeah, man, it was an awesome feeling, accomplishment. And it wasn't even my first rodeo. So I graduated with an associate's degree in film and video production. And I'm still, I'm still doing it in the background, but I'm not doing it like in the foreground right now. It's just something that, people I know, they'll ask me, what happened to that? It's still there. Don't worry, guys. I haven't totally forgotten about that. I took business mainly because so I can get a more business mindset and do my creative, so I can have the business and I can have the fun, the entertainment. But I gotta know both. I mean, some people learn different ways. I figured, why not take the opportunity to learn the business side of everything and international business, because I started out with general business. I was like, well, why not go large, or go home? I'll take international business. Put that on my resume, man. Come on, man. Everybody's always asking me, what are you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do with that? Don't worry, man. Don't worry. But I'm gonna get to that. So, but and that is a part of graduating, because people are always gonna ask that question. What are you doing now with it? What are you doing with that? And you can look at it like this. A lot of people, want to know what it is you want to do with your degree, because they themselves are curious of what they're going to do with theirs. And the consensus is, I'm going to tell you straight up, like, no shit. Now, you can add this to one of your advices or tips, whatever, but the consensus is like, most people, when they get out of college, don't do jack with a degree. Not, at least not up front, because you got loans, you got debt. I mean, if you got college like tuition debt, you're probably gonna be paying it off for the next 10 years. I'm just throwing out a number. 10 years. It would be odd for me to be fused to my friend. Just picture being fused with one of your female friends. Yeah, that would be pretty odd. I mean, being a female and all. Yeah, it's kind of like the Firestorm, right? Firestorm. But see, the way they do Firestorm is you see the one guy, and you can hear like the other in his head. Now that would be kind of cool. Well, in a way, not gonna lie, it would get annoying to have somebody in your brain, in your mind, like, stop, shut up. No, I'm right, you're wrong. I have that problem with myself already. Yes, I argue with myself. No, shut up. But I go back and forth on certain things. I'm a very analytical person, so I go back and forth like, no, it's not right, kind of thing, But yeah, it's a part of it. When somebody asks you that question, dude, like, they really want to know what it is. They want to see, like, I don't think it's like, I used to think, and some people's cases, it's probably like, yeah, well, they're probably trying to gauge, like, where you are in life. And it's true. I think, for the most part, that people want to know, like for reals, like what's going on, so they can figure out what's going on in their lives. I mean, are they in a good situation? Are they in a good? I honestly can't tell you. At least I know in my life. I don't know anybody else's. I just know me. That's all I can tell you. That's the most important thing. I mean, you can worry about other people, but I mean, if you're not focused on what you're doing, then you're gonna fail. Another tip you can add up there. So I think most importantly, that's why a lot of people ask that question, and I still get asked, and I'm glad, because it keeps me on my toes. It keeps okay. And don't lie. I mean, be honest with yourself. If anything, if you want to lie, that's fine. Whatever, do your thing. But I'm just saying, if somebody asks you the question, be honest, because if you lie to yourself too much, you're gonna find yourself, 10 years later, it's like, what are you doing? it's been 10 years, dude. Like, are you doing anything with this? And I honestly asked myself this question because like I said, I told you I got an associate degree in film video, right? I'm still doing stuff with that. It's not as much and it's not in the forefront. Like I said, I don't get paid most of the time to do this stuff, but I have fun doing it. So that's the most important thing you gotta work is be concerned with is, are you doing anything with it? And if you're not, it's not the end of the world. Maybe you weren't cut out. Maybe you needed a change. Maybe that wasn't for you. I get it. Sometimes that happens. Change happens. I'm kind of going out of order on this, but I'm just saying because it does happen. I mean, your life is not going to be perfect. I mean, we'd all want a perfect life, a perfect existence, but it's not realistic. It's not freaking candy corn and rainbows. It's life, and life is organic. It changes when it wants or when you want it to. Most importantly, because we do have that power. We can make action, take action, make changes. And sometimes making changes is cutting stuff out we did 10 years ago. It's like, well, I did it 10 years ago. Doesn't mean I like it now. Because life happens. Life changes. Your taste changes. Your preferences changes. You may not like the same kind of women. I know I don't. I used to like the badass, sexy ass women, but not anymore. I mean, yeah, they look nice. But I'll make a new video for this later. But it happens. Change happens. Change happens even throughout college. I didn't do anything drastic enough, like change my major to like, I don't know, theater, for example. And theater is awesome, by the way. I'm just giving you an example, but I didn't change it like from business to theater. Like that's a big change. That's like business to art. I mean, kind of like, well, yeah, that's huge, huge. But some people do that. That's just an example. Like some people make those huge changes. There's nothing wrong with that. You're probably still trying to figure out what's what in life. Like, how do I fit in this world? Like, how do I fit? You know, I'm gonna fit like this. You know, is it like is it gonna work like that? And sometimes, and I feel like sometimes I'm like this. Like I don't even belong here. You know, like, and I try so hard to freaking fit in here, and it won't happen. I know what would eventually happen is you'll freaking drive yourself mad, and you might snap on somebody. You don't want that. So, be yourself. Be yourself. So yeah, I guess I'm in the post-college advice type, but as far as who is starting a business together? Us? What kind of business would you like to start? I'm all ears because that's one of my major aspirations is starting a business. I'm gonna get back to that, but so as far as like things that I want now, a year ago, of course I was working the same job I am now. And even after college, like when I graduated, I was like, I thought I didn't really have a timeline, but I thought maybe I'd be doing something different than I would am now. I know on the Navy Reserve side, I was highly considering becoming an officer. And now I think I'm deciding right now that I'm not going to because I'm getting out. Like I'm gonna be done with the Navy Reserve. Nothing wrong, nothing against it, nothing wrong with it. I think that part of my life is coming to a close, and I mean I can give you a whole story about like how when I first joined the Navy and then I got out, then I joined the Navy Reserve, and I'll do that at a different time. But I think for me right now, I've actually re-enlisted. Like I was on the fence I was like, do I really want to do this? So I just re-enlisted for 3 more years and just tried it out, and it was a great decision because I saved a lot of money, groceries, commissary privileges, stuff like that, and then of course extra money, do annual training, you have the opportunity to go to different places and stuff like that. So I ultimately it was a good decision. But for now, I don't think I could do it anymore, like, and have the same enthusiasm, I guess, unless I just made a change. I think for me, and like for the most part, there's been some major changes as far as like me being in the Navy Reserves, and then plus the current situation, the administration. So there's that, and then I just I don't I don't hate it. I just don't think it's for me anymore. I think again it goes back to I think it's just a closing chapter. I think, and not even think. I just feel like I need to do something else, and I totally like I'm supposed to read this list or at least go down this list about the different things because this whole video was inspired by not only life events but from a fellow YouTuber. Her name is Emily Dow. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. She does mostly do-it-yourself. She does makeup, stuff like that. But she did this one video less than a week ago about post-grad. Like what? Well, she's gonna do like a 1 year later thing, but she did like a post-grad like tips video. Check her out. I put her link below that, by the way. So shout out for that. I took notes and I was like, that's interesting. That's great. So I've kind of like strayed off the path, and I haven't even looked at the list the whole time. That's live, right? It's live. Anything can happen. But I just feel like it's time to move on. Like even in active duty, I was like, I got that feeling that yeah, it's time to move on. I knew deep down in my heart I didn't want to make a career out of it. I just maybe in a different lifetime, a different universe, I'd be like the best like gung ho Joe Navy sailor that the world has ever seen. I don't know. But in this reality, I just don't see it anymore. I don't I never saw it. I've played the role, I've played the part, I've done what I've needed to do, what's necessary. Not just for the Navy, not for my country, but for me. And those are three different things, by the way. I've thought about the hotel business for a while. Restaurants more realistic. I mean, you need a lot of capital for. You could do a hotel. Um, Actually, they were selling a hotel in Waikiki not too long ago. If you got the capital, man, you could buy a hotel. But restaurant, yeah, I could definitely do a restaurant. You gotta get a like Ramsey, man. You just gotta get a good menu, a few good dishes, and then change it up every now and then. Add something, take something away. Kind of like McDonald's and Taco Bell does this all the time. They'll bring something out fresh, limited time, and it disappears. Like what the hell? But you'll pay for it because it was limited time, and you'll keep coming back because they always every freaking month and a half they'll come out with something new. It's like clockwork now. McDonald's is a little less, but Taco Bell, they're on their shit, man. They're on it. But yeah, man, I feel like it's time to move on. Like it's been real. It's been awesome. I've met some awesome people, and I've done a lot of things that most people have never done in their life. They can't say they've had the same story as me. And I look back, I'm like, yeah, I'm not married. I don't have any kids. I don't have a family. I don't have my own house. But guess what? I travel the world at the very least. That's what I can say without hesitance. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have, to not have all that stuff, to not know, sometimes I don't know, like, why don't I have this stuff? I could have been a lot further in life. But there's different perspectives to that. There's different perspectives to where you are. It's most importantly if you're fulfilled, if you feel great. I feel okay. A lot of times now I'm feeling like, man, it's time for me to move on. So I know what I gotta do. I gotta move on. I'm gonna get back to that in a second. I want to go down this list, see if I want to mention a few things that are of importance, but so Emily Dow actually mentions in her video about not being too gung ho about having some job or making money. Like, I know, trust me. I know the easiest thing to do is to freaking be like, I gotta make money, I gotta pay these debts back, right? And that is important. I'm not saying it isn't, because I have my own debt to worry about. Not from this. It's, yeah. What kind of restaurant would you like to do? I'm more of like a simpler guy, but I could do like fusion, maybe some Tex-Mex, maybe some Asian here and there kind of thing. But I'm definitely for fusion, American, Tex-Mex, but simple. But simple. I mean, you restaurant wise, you can do whatever you want. It's like, it's all about the delivery. It's all about what's good. If it looks good, if it is good, it's great. That's what I'm thinking. Damn, I'm getting hungry again. Thanks. No, I'm just joking. But don't be so gung ho about. PS4 is about to go off. Don't be so gung ho about going to make money. Yeah, it is important, but if you can do something else besides that, like travel the world. My professor actually mentioned this. He's a cool professor, like one of the coolest professors I've ever known. And I actually seen him a few weeks ago. He was my history. Yeah, he's my history professor in regards to like Islam in the Middle East, and we already knew this is a challenging subject because everybody's not going to agree, especially if you're Christian or Jew, whatever. It was an interesting semester. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. But I'll never forget this. But he stated, I'm paraphrasing, but as we get older, because he still travels. He still travels with his wife. As we get older, the only travel time we're most likely going to see is during a vacation, which will give us about maybe a couple weeks a year at best. And I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like, even I'm going to Australia for like 11 days, and I want more. I want a month. Yeah, I know the military days are over, but I want more than a few days. I want more than several days of vacation, a place I love. And a lot of people, they get older, they travel less because they got houses and families and kids and all this other stuff. And you stack it up, and you got more and more and more. Once you get all that stuff, you'll travel less and you'll tolerate less. So gone are the days of sleeping out in the outback, which is tents. Hey, if you're hardcore, man, you're gonna do it anyways. Age doesn't matter. I've seen people twice my age climb a mountain without a problem. So it's there. I know. Age is just a number, but there's things that do come with age that suck. So I'm just telling you. And travel was one of, like, you travel less. It's like, So get that out the way. If you want to go abroad, go abroad. If you're still in college, if you're still studying, go abroad if you can. I'm telling you. I went to Australia, and I'm telling you right now, I went there for 5 months. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. And like I said, I'm still working on. I'm gonna do a series regarding Australia. I'm gonna tell you, like, give you tips and all this stuff. But I gotta wrap this up, so I don't want to take too long. But I'm gonna try to keep this under an hour and a half. Okay. But yeah, don't be so gung ho about trying to find a job or something that's gonna occupy your time. So I'm gonna tell you, like, even me, like right now, I sometimes wish, like, well, I wish all the time I had more time. Well, thankfully, the type of job that I have, that I'm not always like engaged in something. I'm not always engaged doing something where I'm just like, my brain is just like on it, on it, on it, on it, on it, you know. And there's jobs like that. We call that cranking the name. You just cranking it, crank it, crank, turn the crank, turn the crank, keep turning it. Next tomorrow, turn the crank. Next day, turn the crank again, turn the crank again. Next day, next week, next month. You've lost 5 years. Where are you? That's how it is. Straight up. What kind of restaurant would you be interested in, Mr. Cool? I'm curious. Take a break. That's one thing I didn't do. And I took vacation, but if you have done, if you worked your ass off, you deserve it to yourself to take a break, even if only a few days. Now, I know if you have to work, if you have to make money, that's limited, but at least take some me time. You gotta get it. Go on a hike. Do something for free. Go to the beach. I know it's easy to say in Hawaii, but go for a walk. Something, Take a break. Sometimes I can't read my own handwriting, and that kind of pisses me off. So move back home. Okay, so a lot of people after college have to consider, well, moving back with their parents, which is nothing wrong with that, or staying on your own. Now, the pros and cons are obvious. You move back home, you save money. You move out by yourself, you're exposed to a different experience, and you're also independent. So that's the simplest pros and cons I can give you. And there's nothing wrong with either one of those. If the first time after I got my associate's degree, I went back home, and I did this a lot longer than I should have. I was there about 5 years, I think. 5 years before I actually made a move. Actually, it was about 4 years, some change. But still, it's too long. But what I did, I ended up going back to an old job. It was guaranteed. It was a guaranteed job. I didn't know what else to do. It's a small city, and I just went back home. And I stayed a lot longer than I should have. Lessons learned. Okay, so if you're gonna go back home, start planning out what you're gonna do next. What are you gonna do? And actually, for a while, I was working on various little projects. Nothing really got off the ground. Nothing. But so now they're all just concepts right now. The current production ideas, scripts, and stuff that are written, they're concepts. And unfortunately, nothing ever happened. But it doesn't mean it won't. But you gotta have a plan of attack. Like anything you do, anything you plan to do, have a plan of attack. Because if you don't, it's not gonna happen. If you don't write it down, if you're just thinking about it, it's like, I wish I think maybe that I'm gonna do this, but if you don't write it down, we don't have any clear goals. As I can best describe it is like I'm having a brain fart. I'm getting tired. I know. I'm wrapping this up. Don't worry. Mm. Have a goal. The time for dreaming is over. As best as I can remember, I'm paraphrasing something. Somebody like it was a coach. I'm paraphrasing this, but he was like, "The time for dreaming is over." You know, maybe it was okay when you were a freshman. It was okay when you're a sophomore. But when you're a junior, it's like, well, you gotta start planning, and definitely when you're a senior, it's like you need clear goals of what you're gonna do. And I totally get it because I was there. I was there not once, not twice, 3 times. High school, trade school, now university. I was there. And so this goes back to learn from your mistakes, learn from your errors. If you don't learn, they'll just be errors. So make the mistake, but fix them. I know for me, I have some plans. I have some plans of attacks. I have a few lists of things that I need to do. There's like this trip that's gonna happen. I have to have a concept. I start out. This is what I want to do. Then as time goes on, I start developing that list, and it gets longer and longer, more detailed, more developed. And I know it's just vacation. People say, "Hey, it's just a vacation. Why are you thinking so much about it?" Because it's important. I need to keep a budget. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need a shuttle service. Some things are very detailed, but other things like transportation has to be detailed. And I'll give you a prime example of what to do in your life. This is just my vacation, but if you are planning anything at all, start with a list, develop it, and then make it happen one by one. The plan will change. It's inevitable. It's going to change, but that's why it's a plan. Yeah, man, Mexican would be great. Like I love Mexican food. It's gotta be like genuine though, like made right. I don't care who's making it. I just care that it's genuine. Yeah, restaurant man with a buffet. And what's wrong? Yeah, that's the thing, man. I've been in Hawaii so freaking long, and there's like maybe one or two restaurants that actually have a buffet, and that's it. And you gotta pay like a crap load just to get that buffet. Like, I'm like reverse spoiled. Like that's not cool. But yeah, in life, learn a lesson, make the mistake, and move on. There's a few things like I, I have sometimes I have a tendency to stay stuck in something for a while. Like, and don't get content. I'm telling you, complacency is dangerous. Com- Complacency is like playing with fire, and then like 20 years later, it's like, what did you do with your life? You had options. Don't let those 20 years creep up on you without realizing what your true potential is. And it's always a process. It's always like it's always a learning experience. It's always, for me, I know I'm not where I'm supposed to be yet, but I know that slowly but surely I'm getting there, and I know there's a faster way to get there than what I'm doing right now. And once I figure that out, I'm gonna jump on it. I am doing a few things, so let me get back to my list. I gotta stay the course, right, man? And that complacency was on my list. I crap you not. Complacency is on there. Beware of complacency. That was next. And I hadn't even read it yet. A plan in action right there. Yeah, a lot of stuff's on there. So this is pretty much gonna wrap up the list. And so going back to where you want to be now, this kind of ties in what I just said about how I know I'm not where I want to be. I know where I want to be, but getting there, it's gonna be some work. And trust me, I've had many moments of time where I'm just like, dude, like I see a lot of friends of mine that has, the house, the kids, the whole 9 yards. But then I think back, we have very two different experiences. I enlisted in the military, and I did this at a later age. I didn't go right after high school. So in a way, I feel like I'm, what's the word? Well, I don't want to say slow is like a negative, but slow is like, there's a better word for it, a better phrase, I would say. Anyways, I feel like, well, I feel like I'm not where I should be. I know I'm not. And I know, yeah, I can do better than this. I can say that I deserve better, but I also know that I'm the reason why I'm here. And you're gonna get this. This is inevitable. It's you. If you feel like you're not where you want to be, then you have to go back and just reevaluate how your life has gone and why is it that you are where you are today. And that's exactly, I just mentioned this. Like, yeah, I'm looking at my life experience. This is much different from a lot of people. But some people have the house, kids, and they've done the Navy thing, and but I don't want that. I want something different. I don't even want kids right now. I'm not saying I don't ever want kids. I'm just saying that kids, like I said, I just got out of a marriage. I didn't have kids. I'm glad I didn't. That way they don't have to go through that whole mess. Oh my God, it's just horrible. But you have to reevaluate your life and get back on track. That's all you gotta do. And once you figure out, you look at this map that you got set out somewhere, you went off course, and you gotta figure out how to get back on course. Once you figure that out, and it may be a better course, it may be a faster way to get to where you want to go, a faster vehicle, a better vehicle. Once you figure that out, bam, plan of action, get it done, make it happen. That's all I'm saying. Easy peasy. It's not easy. I'm telling you this right now. As somebody that's been out for a year, it's not always easy. It's not always black and white. And some people might think that is, but it's not. So I mean, in that process, you gotta, I said, reevaluate. You gotta reevaluate. You gotta, well, do something new. Start a new hobby. Meet some friends. Meet some new people. And I've done that. I've been doing it. I'm still doing it today. Networking. Most important thing, and the reason why I picked the university I went to was networking. Meeting different, making new friends, professors, acquaintances, everyone that's close like that. all stand-up people. All stand-up people. Because I mean, I don't normally hang out with people that just like they're shit bags. I don't. Even in the military, I hung out with all stand-up people, man. I don't care what other people say about them, but all stand-up people. To quote someone, I know life's about taking chances, even if odds are stacked against you. Yeah, it is, man. It really is. Life is really about taking chances, and the best example I can give you on that from my life was me staying in Hawaii. I could have went back home after I got out the military. I could have went back. I didn't. I was like, my first goal, honestly, like the one of the first goals on my list, and I made this list years ago. I still have the notebook to this day. It's a black notebook. I made goals, long-term, immediate, short-term goals, and on that list, it was sustain living in Hawaii. So I'm telling you right now, it's not cheap. It has one of the highest cost of living costs in the country, in the United States. That was my first goal. So survive. That was my first goal. Survive. And I did it. That's checked off. I'm here. Sustain. I'm here. I've been here. I'm what people like to say. Kama'aina. I'm here. And even that's coming to a close, I believe. I think being in Hawaii, it's time to move on. It's time to take this next step and move elsewhere. Hawaii is awesome. It's nice. I've been here. But I believe it's eventually, in the next year, year and a half, it's time to leave it behind. Not forever, but for now. But yeah, man, great. Thanks, Mr. Cool, for interjecting that. That was actually a very good. That was perfect. Perfect segue. It was, the odds in your lifetime. Well, hell, if you go outside right now, the odds are stacked up against you, depending on what you do. It's life. You have to adapt. It's not always easy. And I gotta keep it down because it's getting low. It's getting late. It's like 11. Oh shoot! This is like the longest video I've ever did. Unedited, raw, live today. Oh, where's my friend? Where's my friend at, man? Just to give you an idea of some things that are coming up my creek. No puns intended. But one of the things, and I was actually suggested in an article I read, that one of the things you can do after college, and I really wish I could have read this article before doing this video, so I'd give you more. And I might do another video actually, so about like actual college tips after college kind of thing. This is more of like a year later vlog, if anything. But one of the tips was, travel abroad, teach English abroad. And I plan to do that, and that's one of the things I'm looking at doing right now. And I have a plan of attack. I know exactly what I need to do to get to that point. There's some details that I'm missing at the moment, but I know right now I'm looking at going to Taiwan for teaching English. And I actually started this group. It's a TESOL group on. I'm gonna give a shout out right now. Actually, it's a TEFL. It's a TEFL group on Telegram. Did she start that? Vicky, did you start that? I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if you're watching this, but I think she adds a lot of people to it, so I'm thinking she's like one of the admin or one of the mods, but she's cool. She used to actually do a broadcast on Roar as well. You remember her, Mr. Cool. I know you do. But she made some really good. She put out some really good content when she was broadcasting. I'm just looking forward to the day when she actually comes back and does it again. That's gonna be an awesome day. She puts out some really good stuff. I mean, we're talking about a young woman growing up in Iran, and then in the midst of the politics and all this stuff, and she's putting out stuff that's just like, wow, I didn't know. I mean, I'm not shocked. I'm more like impressed, if anything. I'm like, wow, she's putting this stuff out there for people to listen to and to hear. And it just pissed me off that the app just went down. It just basically just disappeared. And all the content we put out on that is just gone. You'll never see it again, you never hear it again, but it's all right. It's all part of life, right? If YouTube shut down tomorrow, which I doubt it will, but if it did, are you gonna stay? You're gonna like mope over it? It's like, oh man, YouTube's gone. Oh man, dang. What am I gonna do now? That should not be your thought process. Your thought process would be like, all right, what's the next? What's the next biggest thing? What's the next biggest platform? I can't talk right now. I was very hesitant to actually do these type of videos on YouTube, and I was like, I said, screw it, man. Why not? Why not? I did it on Raw for the longest time. Why can't I do it on YouTube? So I was kind of like finding my niche in YouTube, and I kept putting out like different stuff. I was like, okay, maybe that's good. I just screw it, man. Just be myself. That's why I started doing more live stuff, and I mean, I will put out more stuff that's pre-recorded, that's more like informative. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you guys. I know you guys appreciate that, and I know people that appreciate this. So I'll do both, but I'm finding my niche. I'm like, this is kind of cool, man. I can do live, and I can do that at the same time. I don't have to do just one thing. Case in point, life is organic. It changes. It's ever changing. It's always going to be changing. There's always going to be something that's coming at you. And you're either ready for it or you're not. That's all I can tell you. That's the best advice I can give you is that. You got to take chances. Don't be scared. Don't get complacent. Be yourself. Start a new hobby. Make some new friends. So I'm getting part of at the end here about friendships. So one of my friends, and actually in general, after college, after high school, whatever, your friends are gonna just scatter. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen. This has happened to me a few times. And with the advent of social media, it's actually made it much easier to stay in contact. Because once you spread apart, once you just expand, everybody has their own lives. I don't know if you know this or not, but everybody lives their own lives. And you're either a part of it or you're not. Those are your only options. Yeah, man, Netflix. I know Netflix wants to be more like YouTube, and YouTube wants to be more like Netflix. I know you've seen that. So they got some pretty good competition. I mean, Netflix is gone with the thumbs up, thumbs down, but I don't like that. There actually is a lot in between the thumbs down and thumbs up. Like, I don't love it or hate it, although some things I do, but why'd you get rid of the star things again? I don't, whatever. They want to be more YouTube that way, and YouTube wants to be more like Netflix and having a whole YouTube TV and then the YouTube Red. That's where it's going. Eventually, Netflix will probably become a YouTube type where they'll have people make their own shows like this on Netflix. I can see it happening. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. I'm predicting a future here. This is a probable future that may happen within the next 10 years. I don't know. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It didn't happen in this universe. It happened in the other universe. So I'm still right. So yeah, man, I'm telling you as an adult, it gets harder to find new friends as you work. Because some friends, I mean, some coworkers you don't want to go out with. You don't want to party with those guys. It's like, yeah, you're a square dude. I don't want to associate with myself. Work is enough. I can deal with you at work, but I cannot deal with you after work. There's some people like that. And there's others you can party with after work. That's fine. I've done the same thing with some of my coworkers. Sometimes, well, we don't anymore, but we used to go out, play pool, have some beers, shoot the shit. But if if you're doing long hours and you're gonna feel it, I'm feeling it right now. Long hours. Last thing you want to do, last thing I want to do, because my energy is already being spent helping people every day, which I don't mind. It's the people that aren't as smart, or I don't know. I'm sure there's a better word for it. Savvy, maybe. That just, they kind of wear on me. But that's customer service, right? It happens. Point is, the last thing you want to do, I mean, of course you want to have fun, but you don't want to be tired and be falling asleep while you're having fun, and that sucks. It's like, damn, you're tired, damn. I mean, you don't even feel like being yourself. It's like, so, yeah. If you're not having fun, you're not meeting friends, and you're kind of stagnant in your social life. I'm telling you, I've been there. It happens. It's inevitable. So stay on top of your friends. What you can do is what sometimes I do is when there's a birthday, or I see on YouTube, for example, or not YouTube, but Facebook. I see somebody's birthday, I'll be like, happy birthday. If they respond and be like, thank you, not all the time, but sometimes, I'll be like, hey, so how's your birthday? How's it going? That's your chance to reconnect, re-engage them, to get back in their lives and for them to get back in yours. If that's something you're interested in. Otherwise, don't do anything. I'm just giving you tips. But anyways, so all that kind of led to this. But I recently had a friend. Man, I'm gonna miss him. But we've been through some shit together. Literally. He's a really good friend of mine, and he actually had to go back to the Philippines a couple of days ago. So we had a going away dinner. The same guy I was talking about earlier, I was supposed to go on a trip around the island. He went with his boyfriend instead, which actually worked out. It was actually better. So he went with his boyfriend around the island. They had fun, and I thought it was pretty cool. Even though I couldn't go because I originally was supposed to take them around the island. I couldn't go because of my car. I didn't want to risk it. So he left, and we actually used to. He's got a YouTube channel. I'm not sure if it's still public, but actually, hold on. Nah, it doesn't matter. Um, hmm, one second. I'm just putting the time codes when I talked about him. So we used to hang out like not all the time, but I would say at least once or twice a month on average. We used to go watch a movie together. Sometimes you'd have just dinner, and he's part of our movie crew. And there's another friend of mine. He's actually from here. That we used to go together, and I well, I mean, I still hang out with him, and I do that at least once a week. So we're always staying in touch, connected. But yeah, it's true. You can't do that with everybody. So you only have a limited amount of time. You and if you have a small circle of friends, it's much easier to maintain than say if you got 20 friends, you hang out with like 5 people a week. It's just, look, I'm introverted. I do have the moments of extroversion, but I don't I don't have the type of energy sometimes to even be with like 5 people at the same time, let alone one or two. Now one or two is good, or three even. That's about my limit right there. Most times. Oh, but yeah, man. If you want to connect, you gotta stay in there, man. You don't disappear out of the face of the planet, because you will be forgotten. that's that's life. Oh, but yeah, we saw him off, man, and he'll be back. I know he will. But he's gonna finish up his studies in his home country, and of course we're gonna keep in touch, Messenger, Line, WeChat. I don't think he's on WeChat, but whatever. He's on something. I know he's on something that I have, and I just seen something on Snapchat not so long. I can't talk today, cause yeah. I'm gonna wrap this up, but so I wanted to make the most important thing about is stay in touch with your friends. I know Emily Dow mentioned this in a video that sometimes it's hard. It's downright very challenging to just meet up, say, hey, we're gonna go out, or drink, whatever. I mean, you gotta switch it up, right? It's like life. Sometimes you gotta switch it up, meet somebody new, maybe date somebody new. Who knows? But that'll change your life. You don't know. Who you meet can change everything. It really can. Like I said, I could have missed orientation, and I wouldn't even know this guy because I met him through one of the guys I met, and I just did something simple. I knew a little Japanese. I said, I think I said hello, like nice to meet you, hajime. And he was like blown away. He's like, "Are you Japanese?" Yeah, a little bit. We hung out. Years later, he introduces somehow I introduced to the guy I'm talking about that went back home. They had a falling out. Actually, had a falling out with a lot of people. Like not the friend I'm talking about, but the friend that I made, the acquaintance that I made at the beginning of the school year had a falling out with my friend and a lot of other people. We met somehow. I don't even remember exactly how we met, but I know that guy is the key. I know he's the key. We met and we're friends. Imagine though if I didn't go to orientation, or imagine it's called a pivot point. A pivot point in life. And I can trace it back to that moment in time. And without a doubt, I can tell you that if I did not go to orientation, I don't know if I'd be even on YouTube tonight. Who knows? That would have changed the whole outcome. So friends are important, man. I'm telling you, man. Good friends are there, and he was cool, man. Still cool guy. I'll chat with him later on, but keep in touch with your good friends, because you only got a few of them in your lifetime. I think that's about it, man. getting close to 2 hours, man. This is like the longest time I've been on here. Holy cow. I used to do roar casts like this, man. But yeah, let me get off here, man. This is you guys are gonna love this though. I'm putting out some good stuff here. This is no bullshit. I'm telling you. I'm not wasting time here to bullshit. I'm giving you some good information. I'm telling you about my life. This is my experience. This is the M Chronicles, okay? And there's gonna be more of these. Believe you. Best believe that. There's gonna be more. They may not be nearly as long, but there will be more. So as far as things coming soon, I am gonna come up with a new business solutions series. I'm still working on a name on that. So if you have a good name, you have some feedback, please by all means comment. Make a comment in the comment section. You can even put in the live cast. The only thing about live cast, I won't be able to see it after I close this out. I can only see it now. So I think Mr. Cool actually coming on here, staying on here with me because I know it's. I hope it's been interesting, at least, at the very least. Now, that's all I try to do is keep it interesting, keep it entertaining, keep it somewhat educational. New roommates episode. So there is a new roommates episode I am working on, and it will be more gears towards anybody that's actually looking for a new roommate or searching for a new roommate versus 1 second. Just a timestamp versus you searching for a place to stay. Basically, I think that was the last video I made. So I might put that on my list of suggested videos to watch. And of course, living in Australia, I'm pretty much a wealth of knowledge. I haven't done everything. I don't know everything, but I can tell you what my experience is, and I could probably, I'll probably make a new series. I could fit it in the M Chronicles, but I'm gonna do something else. I want to do something more travel related, and this is gonna be the start of like travel. So if you have a good title as far as like a suggestions for like a travel series, I've already have an idea in mind, but hey, any others is more than I think. I'm very grateful because you guys, I mean, I respect you guys this time too. So if you have a very good idea, I'm gonna consider it. Okay. So put it in the comment section, and I will definitely get back to you on that. Definitely. I'm gonna wrap this up. Keep it under 2 hours. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. And as always, if you think anybody else will benefit from this, or you just love it, whatever, share, man. Share and share like I'm gonna share. I'm gonna put it on my social media. That's what I'm gonna do. This is the M Chronicles. Thanks for coming to the M Chronicles. It's been real. It's been awesome. I'm gonna wrap this up. It's been awesome, guys. Thanks for tuning in, Mr. Cool. I'm gonna give a shout out to Mr. Cool again, and perhaps in the future we can do some kind of collabs. I am looking forward to doing a collab with Internal Monarch. I'm not sure where that's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen, and I will definitely keep you guys informed of when it's gonna happen. Because Internal Monarch, I don't know if you know this guy, but he's a very deep thinker. Like he's one of those guys, and I'm kind of one of those guys too. Actually, I think outside the box. Theories, things that may not be what they seem, type of thing. He's one of those type of people, and that's a great thing for me because I'm the type of person too. I think outside the box. Well, I'm glad Mr. Cool has been very interesting because I am gonna keep making very interesting stuff for people to watch, and not because for people to watch, mostly just because it's me and I'm putting me out there. Okay. No, enough said. I'm thirsty. My mouth is dry. I need some water, guys. Thank you for tuning in here, and I will see you on the next episode, and hopefully sooner than later, because I know this has been, well, like I said, it's been a long few weeks of work, man. It's been rough. But anyways, I want to end on a great note. I want to say I want to thank each and every one of you that have stuck it out this long, and it's close to 2 hours. Thanks, Mr. Cool, again for staying tuned and coming in and just engaging, because I appreciate that sort of thing hands down. I really do appreciate it, because I know it's not easy to be one. It's not easy to be engaged at such late hours. I know it's late here too, and second to stay awake for it, because I know a lot of people in the mainland U.S. are asleep right now, and I should probably be making the same. Uh, I should be going in that direction soon too. But so expect more of these M Chronicles. Expect more live stuff, and I haven't forgotten. There's gonna be more pre-recorded stuff too, so it's more short, sweet, to the point. So I know there's that crowd too. And of course, I don't want to be explaining something for 5 hours at the same time. So I'm gonna cut out the filler for that, because it's more scripted, anyways. Not really scripted, like I'm gonna say this and my dialogue. Anyway, nothing like that. But expect more live. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, man, it's been real, everyone. It's been real. Where is my OBS so I can stop the streaming? This will be available if you're just tuning in now. It'll take roughly about 15 to 20 minutes to process, and you can watch from the beginning. I think that's it. But thanks again. I appreciate it. And stay tuned for the next episode of the Optimistic M. And don't forget, you can connect with me also. My follow my various social platforms down below, ranking from Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, and Snapchat, as well as my WordPress blog, which I just actually created a new blog in regards to photography. So yeah, get on that. Anyways, thanks everybody, and it's been awesome. Have a good night, and also have a good morning, depending on where you are in the world. But yeah, laters. Cheers.